Getting rich is not the finish line. It is new terrain. Treat it like a victory lap, and you lose the ground you just won. A study that followed tens of thousands of lottery winners found that many of them were bankrupt within a few years of their big win. Another study on professional athletes showed that a significant share went bankrupt within a decade of retirement. After years of massive paychecks, different careers, same pattern, money arrived fast. Systems arrived late. They did not lose because they were stupid. They lost because their wealth arrived before their defense. Ancient strategists said, the good fighters of old first put themselves beyond the possibility of defeat, and then waited for an opportunity of defeating the enemy. Today that means this: when you get rich, your first job is not growth. Your first job is to make losing the new money very hard. Use the Moat-First Wealth Stack. 4 layers. From safest to riskiest. Anytime a big check lands, a business sale, a buyout, a crypto win, an inheritance, run it through this stack. Layer 1 is shield capital. This is pure defense. Cash and cash-like assets. Target 12 to 24 months of your true living costs after you simplify your life. Park it in boring places you can access within a few days. This layer pays your rent, your food, your basic insurance, and keeps your nervous system calm. If this layer disappears, you are back on desperate ground. Layer 2 is fortress assets. This is your core. The money you plan to hold for 10 years or more. Think broad, low-fee index funds, government bonds, and paid-off or low-leverage property you can comfortably maintain. No margin. No complex products you cannot explain in one sentence. For most people who just got rich, this is 40 to 60% of total net worth. The purpose is simple. If every risky bet went to zero, this layer still gives you freedom. Layer 3 is life operations. This layer funds your upgraded life and your operating company. Set a hard annual spend rate. For many people, 2 to 4% of net worth is already a huge lifestyle shift. From this layer, you pay for staff, nicer housing, better tools, learning, and a clear generosity budget. You decide in advance what rich enough looks like in your day-to-day. Then you lock it. Layer 4 is frontier bets. This is where you scratch the itch to play. Startups, angel checks, a new brand, a risky expansion, a small crypto sleeve. Cap this at 5 to 15% of your net worth. Write the number down. If a frontier bet wins, you refill the frontier and top up the fortress. If it loses, you feel the pain, but the castle still stands. Shield, fortress, life, frontier. First, you make ruin unlikely. Then you decide how aggressive you want to be. Now wrap this into a simple decision rhythm, a capital deployment loop. 5 steps: pause, map, allocate, automate, review. Use this in the first 90 days after the money lands. Step 1. Pause. For the first 30 to 90 days, make one rule: no big moves. No new house, no 7-figure deal, no massive hire. You let the adrenaline drop. You say, thank you, I need time, to every opportunity. Step 2. Map. You write down your numbers. What is your current burn rate? What does your bare bones burn if you trimmed? What debts exist? What obligations to staff, family, and tax do you already have? You turn the windfall from a mystery into a simple balance sheet. Step 3. Allocate. You layer the Moat-First Wealth Stack onto that map. You pick actual percentages for shield, fortress, life, and frontier. You check that taxes are covered. You check that shield and fortress together can carry you for at least 10 years at a trimmed lifestyle. Step 4. Automate. You set actual transfers. Money moves from your operating account to your shield and fortress on a schedule. Your salary to yourself is a fixed amount that fits inside the life layer. You remove as many manual decisions as possible. Step 5. Review. Every 6 or 12 months, you revisit the map. You ask, did my burn change? Did my risk tolerance change? Did my business change? You adjust percentages only on these review dates, not whenever a new idea appears. Now see how this plays out in real life. You sell your agency and clear $2 million after tax at age 38. You feel pressure to go bigger. Friends send you deals. You want to upgrade everything at once. You run the capital deployment loop. You pause for 60 days. During that time, you map your real costs and discover your family can live well on $80,000 per year. You allocate 50%, $1 million, to Fortress assets. You set $300,000 as shield capital, equal to over 3 years of lean expenses. You limit life operations to a $100,000 annual spend. You put the remaining $600,000 into frontier bets over the next 5 years, not all at once. Even if every new venture fails, you still have more than a decade of runway and a solid core portfolio. Another case. You run a small e-commerce brand that suddenly hits a winning product. Net profit jumps from $100,000 per year to $600,000. Cash stacks in the business account. You start hiring, signing leases, and reinvesting everything without rules. You apply the Moat-First Wealth Stack. You decide that every month, 50% of profit leaves the company into personal shield and fortress layers. You hold 6 months of business expenses as a separate shield inside the company. You cap new hires based on a 12-month worst-case forecast, not the current spike. Frontier bets become small tests, each under 5% of annual profit. When the product cycle cools 18 months later, the business feels tight, but your personal fortress is intact, and you are not forced into a panic sale. There are traps here. First trap, lifestyle siege. You let fixed costs grow faster than your safe spend rate. You sign leases and subscriptions that assume every year will be a record year. You fix it by raising lifestyle slowly, with a 12-month delay behind income. Second trap, unstructured generosity. You mix gifts, loans, and investments. You say yes to every request because you feel guilty about saying no. You fix it by defining a clear annual generosity budget and deciding which money is a gift and which money is a true investment on paper. Third trap, new battle addiction. You feel empty if you are not all in on something risky. So you stack leverage, double down on volatile assets, and ignore your shield. You fix it by fencing risk into the frontier layer. You tell yourself, all my thrill lives inside this 15%. The rest is boring by design. Here is your campaign for the next 30 days. First, take 60 minutes and write your full windfall number and your after-tax number on one page. List all debts and obligations beside it. Your goal is simple, one page that shows your real position. Next, in the same week, spend 90 minutes calculating 2 burn rates, bare bones and current lifestyle. Use the last 3 months of spending as your base. You end with 2 clear monthly numbers written down. In week 2, spend 2 hours designing your Moat-First Wealth Stack. Choose exact percentages for Shield, Fortress, Life, and Frontier, plus target dollar amounts for each. You finish with a 1-page allocation plan with 4 numbers and 4 percentages. In week 3, spend 3 hours opening or confirming the accounts for each layer. Move at least 20% of your final Shield and Fortress targets into their separate accounts. Set up automatic monthly transfers from your main account. You are done when the transfers are scheduled, and at least 1/5 of your defensive target is in place. In week 4, spend 2 hours writing your wealth rules document. 1 page. Include your annual lifestyle cap, your generosity budget, your frontier limit, and your review dates. Share it with a trusted partner or advisor. You are done when the document exists, is signed by you, and one other person has a copy. Sudden money is serious ground, not a playground. Build your moat first, then choose which battles you still want to fight. Outcomes vary with execution and context, but the order is always the same. Shield, fortress, life, frontier. First, make loss unlikely. Then, earn the right to play.